Hello Astro friends, Melanie here on July 10th, Monday, July 10th, 2023 with the Astro blog for the coming week starting tomorrow, July 11th and going until July 17th, next Monday, which will be also the new moon in late Cancer. We are now in a waning moon phase in the sign of the moon Cancer, so it can be a very emotional, very sensitive time where lots of stuff comes up. To release it and to give it back to the origin and to the cycle and rhythms of life. Now, what's up with the moon? The moon is still in Aries, where she's been over the weekend and connecting with Chiron. So a lot of raw and sensitive stuff could come up with certain summary events, maybe relating to children, maybe relating to families, maybe relating to the past. Time to reflect on that and also to ground the energy as the moon goes into Taurus today. And that will be much more a wow, super windy right now. That will be much more of a landing, an arriving energy, arriving again in ourselves, in our self-care, in our caring nature. The moon in Taurus, the sun in Cancer, beautiful combination for the next 2 days. And the moon shifts from Aries to Taurus after a little void phase this afternoon. So she will be in Taurus from 4:55 Pacific Daylight Savings Time on, and in Taurus until all day tomorrow, all day Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday and Saturday until 10:13 a.m. the moon will be in Gemini. So with Gemini, more interest, more diversion, more dissemination of the energy comes in. We're flying out, we're interested, we're curious, we're connecting, we're communicating. We need some stimulation mentally, right? That is where Gemini, we need alternatives and not get stuck in something boring, right? So mixing things up a bit for the weekend, just until Saturday morning, I should say. And then the moon will be in Cancer, and that will be in this case a dark moon because it's a dark before new moon, right? So it's a dark moon in Cancer weekend, July 15th and 16th, and the new moon will be on July 17th at 11:32 a.m. And what a new moon that will be. I show you the chart here shortly. But first of all, that dark moon weekend, maybe not so easy, right? Because again, lots of themes around memories, around family, around belonging, and comes up with a Cancer moon. But it can be also of the past, especially also since it's a dark moon. So what is historically and in your own personal history up for tending, for caring, but also for releasing, right? And because it all funnels into that new moon in Cancer, end of Cancer, where we're going to actually already from the 12th of July on until the 22nd, the last 10 degrees, the last 10 days, have a Pisces undertone. Even more about releasing, about surrendering, about openness to receive, and to receive also emotionally and from a place of rapport where we feel at home, where we feel a sense of belonging. So how can we connect with people, with the divine, with the universe, to feel a real a place of an energy of belonging that doesn't go away, right? As we surrender to it. And in the meantime, just today and tomorrow, the phase in the in Cancer is still has still a Scorpio undertone. The central Cancer has a Scorpio undertone. So that started on July 1st and goes till July 11th. And so what's with that Scorpionic energy? Also review of the last week up to here, midweek here. So what has been coming up from the depth, and maybe unprocessed stuff, maybe shadowy stuff relating to children, relating to families, things that are usually not talked about, taboos that need to come to the light and that you might actually be quite passionate about. And so this is also integrating now. And now what's going on this week before we get to the new moon? Today, July 10th, two major shifts. One already happened this morning. That was Mars entering Virgo. And this evening, Mercury enters Leo. This evening Pacific Daylight Time, so 9:11 p.m. So this morning, Mars in Virgo, maybe you already noticed that shift towards more of a drive, more of a desires to actually bring things into order, to take care of health, of wellness, to be of service, to do good work in the world that helps other people, and also to, after the party, after all that wild and leonine energy that's been up for since end of May with Mars, and then Venus joined, and also Lilith is in Leo, so it's a lot, especially around summer solstice, been a lot of Leo energy, which is now sort of shifting, not quite, but from a Mars perspective it's been shifting, while Mercury goes into Leo this evening. Just a second about that, right? So, but the Mars phase is on for longer until end of August, and so it's a great time to put your energy into something that you feel needs to be done. This is the time for it. And also, how can you make the world a better place? What also, you might actually have a strong drive and desire to assert what is reasonable, right? What common sense and what practicality and rationality, very Virgo, right, are telling you. So that could also turn into arguments and being overly critical and self-critical. So watch for that, right? So Virgo always sees where there's room for improvement, or even where there's fault, where there's something is not quite right and needs to be tweaked. So, but don't focus overly on that, because that again also backfires. This is what Mars in opposition with Saturn, which is building up this week and will be exact on July 20th, I believe. Yeah, July 20th, that's next Thursday. Mars will be opposite Saturn in Pisces. So there's also lots of teachings around being more relaxed and being more receiving and connecting and allowing things to take their own course, rather than always needing to be picky and needing to do something because you feel things are not right here, right? So it's a juxtaposition of these two sides, but Saturn typically shows us, has as a karmic effect, it shows us cause and effect, right? So if we are in a better vibration, we don't need to worry so much, right? That's one of the Virgo Pisces or Pisces Virgo dynamics. Anyway, I wrote an article for Mars in Virgo, and I put my WordPress blog link in the show notes, and you can find the article there. Then this evening, Mercury, coming out of Cancer, goes into Leo, but only for a short time, until July 28th it is. And that because Mercury is currently pretty swift, pretty fast. It's furthest away from the retrograde phases, and the next one will be on from August 23rd on. We're not worrying about that yet. And Mercury is pretty swift, and it's only for a quick time in Virgo. In Leo. will be in Virgo for a long time and will go retrograde in Virgo. But now Mercury is in Leo, so that can help us communicate things from a passionate, from a confident place, and from a place of love and self-love from the heart, right? So maybe with Mercury in Cancer in the last few weeks, we've become quite sensitive and had all kinds of thoughts that made us a kind of more vulnerable or also more insecure, actually. So Virgo, Leo, from when we come from the heart and we come from a place where we feel loved and loving, things can be said in this way, all right? So, and yeah, and it's also great for passionate creativity, all right? And even for on the mercantile level to go shopping or do business as a vendor around creativity. So the Mercury in Leo speak from a heartful place, from a passionate, find your passionate voice, and adding to that Leo energy, bridging over to the Leo season, the solar Leo season, which starts on July 23rd. Or does it start on July 22nd already? Yes, 22nd this year. We got it. Okay. So what else is on this week? On July 12th, which is in 2 days, the Sun in Cancer squares Chiron in Aries. And that's still an expression of the full moon we had in Capricorn, Cancer on July 3rd, in T-square with Chiron. So now the Sun is sort of bringing that out. And Chiron in Aries, also pretty strong player this month because Chiron is stationary, will go retrograde on July 23rd, so moving quite slowly before that U-turn and being quite a focus. So this is all about wounds, about early wounds, about especially Cancer Leo, right? So wounds and trauma and all kinds of vulnerabilities that happen to children and to young children and also to our inner child. So that wants to come to consciousness with the Sun, and so that we come from a caring place and from a place of love where we take care of the children and of the inner child, and also of all sorts of vulnerabilities and wounds that happen with the medical system. So Chiron rules anything healing related, right? Including literally the medical system. So if you are wondering about things that happen too prematurely, that's Aries, right? Too fast, too not really well informed or well matured, right? So shooting and doing things, shooting from the hip, right? Doing things too fast, too furious, too early, and not well considered. So things, decisions, choices around that. We might be dealing with some suffering resulting from that, right? And how do we take care of that? What is our caring side? How does this caring and motherly and caring side come forward and yeah, address all this, right? And what happens to children? I mentioned that last week, right? Regarding child trafficking, right? And children's abuse. So this is a huge thing in the world and needs to be come to the light of consciousness. And if we are silent, if we keep it in the dark, we're condoning it, right? So things need to be discussed and brought to people's awareness, and things have to change, right? So Chiron, Sun Chiron square, something really comes up quite sharply, right? And on July 13th, is another shift this week. This week has 3 shifts, right? Mars, Mercury, and the third one is on July 13th. That is the nodes, the lunar nodes they always go retrograde, and now as they come from Scorpio, is the south node still currently, goes into Libra. The north node comes from Taurus and goes into Aries. Just a quick sip. So the nodes are 1.5 years in a sign, and they have been in Scorpio Taurus since end of December 2021. And so the nodes show us, I call them karmic pathways. They show us where the energy wants to flow, right? Where old vibes, old karma needs to be released. That's the south node. It's also in the Chinese system considered the dragon's tail. It's about elimination. And the north node is called the dragon's mouth, so where fresh energy comes in. So we've had that pair of nodes in Scorpio, even with the south node, definitely about releasing, eliminating all sorts of shadow, all sorts of darkness, not getting stuck in it, but actually processing and releasing it, while also getting fresh energy from the Taurus side, from a quality of enjoyment, of being in nature, and together with Uranus, which the North Node and Uranus, they crossed paths last summer. So it also has had and still has a lot to do with freedom, is embodying freedom, and what that means, right? So literally going with what your body enjoys, and not going so much into all kinds of psychological funk that can happen with Scorpio, but at the same time it needs to be processed. Don't get stuck in it either in the dark. So it's been quite a difficult nodal dynamic, and now that is shifting for the next 1.5 years, starting on July 13th and going till end of January 2025. So Libra will be, for the time being, the south node, and Aries the north node. The nodes also determine eclipses. So eclipses are exact alignments, more or less exact, but exact enough alignments between sun, moon, and nodes. So they show up, of course, with a new moon or full moon. And the next major one, will be coming up on October 14th. I can show you that chart already. That is the annular solar eclipse in Libra with the south node, so it will be a release eclipse. Just a quick preview in the chart, and we're getting to the upcoming new moon in a second. So this is that next eclipse, and check that out. So much Libra at that time, October 14th. It will be annular. It will be almost a total eclipse, not just a partial. So the south node, sun and moon and Mercury all in Libra, and even Mars nearby. So that eclipse will be visible in North America, and that would be a big event. So it is about choices, right? So the south node coming from Scorpio to Libra, that is a choice point. So now it's about really processing the choices you've made. The choices you're making now are actually super critical, right? And they want to lead to new beginnings. That is Aries, right? So the new moon that's coming up on the 17th, next Monday, will initiate the nodes into that new dynamic of Libra Aries. Check out that new moon chart. Wow, right? It's a cardinal grand cross. So here is Sun and Moon, end of Cancer. Pluto, end of Capricorn, is right opposite, and that is just building up to the Sun Pluto opposition on July 21st, right? So that's a strong dynamic already. But not only that, also Sun and Moon are in square with the south node end of Libra, the North Node, end of Aries, and so is Pluto. So this is called a cardinal grand cross. That is really a very strong crossroads in terms of choices, right, Libra, and beginnings. And they have to do maybe literally with home, with belonging, with family, with tribes, all, with countries even, right? All of that is Cancer, and have to do also from the Capricorn side with sustainability. So what can last here, and how can we work with something long term? What works? And Aries calls us to be brave, to be bold, to be new, to also get out of our comfort zone from the Taurus to Aries and be adventurous. So there's a lot to this shift here. Second half of July and end of July brings a lot of shifts, right? So this is a very crucial new moon, even for the year, right? Besides the eclipses, maybe one of the most important new moons of the year. And I haven't checked out the Sabian symbol yet, but that will be interesting in terms of a little oracle, give us some hints, right, around the themes of the new moon, end of Cancer. And wherever that end of Cancer energy, 25 degrees, falls in your chart, also make sure you are not just setting new intentions. That's typically the association with the new moon, having vision boards, all these things, right? That is the yang, the masculine side, right? Also, the yin side, especially with the moon in Cancer, is about being receptive. Being receptive and feel it out. Feel what you're drawn to, feel what's inviting, what brings you joy, and where you really feel you belong. And plant seeds in that direction. This is the perfect time. Second half of July will be also on July 26th, will be also the Mayan New Year. And that's an exciting shift as well that I will talk about the following week, I guess. Nope, not quite yet. 2 weeks to go. Anyway, stay tuned. And of course, I always write blog articles for all of this, for the new moon, for the Mayan New Year. It will be for Mercury in Mercury in Leo. You can already find, and also for the nodes. Sorry, a little throat thing. Okay, so I believe that's it for today. Rather shortish Astro News. For that reason, blog-wise, right, vlog-wise, for that reason, I have here little cards I'd like to offer, very Cancerian, right, here in my shell. And I can't tilt it too much, but I have dolphin cards just for joy, just for fun, not tarot cards. Tarot cards usually are integrated in astrology sessions. And yes, of course, I offer astrology sessions. Come if you're a new client or would like to tune in again and get an update, check out what the transits, how you can work with the transits that are currently happening, specifically customized for you, for your chart, for your life. You're most welcome to contact me. My email address is below in the show notes, even if you just have questions, right? So I'm definitely open to all of that. And I do online sessions, but also in-person sessions here in Victoria, British Columbia for many years already, for 20 up to 23 years coming up. Anyway, here comes a dolphin, or maybe two, let's see. So dolphin card here for the week. Let's see, here's the first dolphin, and I think I have 3 dolphins. On each dolphin, on each card are 3 dolphins, and I get 3 dolphin cards. Let's do it. Here's the second dolphin, and here is a middle dolphin. There's a central dolphin. Okay, so here is the first dolphin saying, sunshine on the water, which is very much a connection of Cancer and Leo. So go to literally to the water. This is very Cancerian, right? Walk by the water. For me, it's always beautiful when I'm out for Cancerian crab walks on the seashore. So invigorating, so nurturing, Cancer side. And have the sunshine sparkle on the water, very Leo, right? It brings that out in you, your inner sunshine, and brings things into flow again. So the second dolphin, ooh, ascending the spiral. So this is also Cancer is already very rhythmical, very cyclical, and then end of Cancer having the Piscean energy. So it's actually a spiral, just like our solar system is not just a flat circle, it's a spiral going through the universe, through the galaxies, right? So ascending, what does that mean? So how can you lift? How can you up level and upgrade in that way the experience, any experience? That's always my intention with the astrology sessions, especially. If you come to me with an experience that's less than desirable and you're actually having issues, how can we meet this theme from the archetypal, from the astrological level, and help experience it on a different level? And yeah, so ascending the spiral, let's see how that speaks to you, what that means to you this week. Here's the third dolphin. Oh, perfect. This dolphin says the one, right? The one being in oneness. And here's also what the dolphins look like in the back. Very sweet, right? So the one, this way. All is one, right? All is one. Again, spiral, circle, back into oneness. And one is consciousness, again, very Piscean, last part of Cancer with a Pisces undertone. My sense is we want to connect here with a message, especially this one, with Neptune, right? Neptune in Pisces is the energy that reminds us that all is one. And the sun will be in water trine with Neptune. How a beautiful auspicious energy that is coming up in the last week of Cancer, and it is on July 20th this year. Yeah, so I wish you a beautifully attuned week, and also with the waning moon again, right? Lots of good releasing energies that you have digested with the Scorpio undertone of Cancer. Release it back to the universe. Maybe you do a little ceremony, a little ritual, especially before the new moon, of release, and with the new moon, of course, of new beginnings. So the next the next video on here on this blog will be on Monday the 17th, maybe before or maybe after the new moon, when a new nest is being seeded. And I also write, as always, email Astro News email newsletter for the new moon, as I do for each new moon and full moon. So if you'd like to be on that on the receiving end and receive that every new moon or full moon and full moon, please also send me an email and I put you on the subscriber list. And of course, you can always unsubscribe if it doesn't resonate with you anymore. So all the best to you. Many blessings. Namaste. And we see each other next Monday here, or you see me. And hopefully I see you somewhere in person or also online. Take care. Many blessings.